I'm Danny, that witch next door, and welcome to Moonday Musings, a mini Astrocast every Monday where we take inspiration and dive into the upcoming energy of the cosmos. Hello, neighbor. Happy Monday, happy Moonday, and welcome to another episode of Moonday Musings. If you're a regular neighbor here in the neighborhood, hi, and welcome back. And I'm so grateful to have you back here again. Thank you for your time. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Danny, and I'm that witch next door. And I am so thrilled to be your cosmic guide this week as we walk through the energy of the astrological forecast together. We really like real magic for real life around here. That's what we're all about. So when we dive into the astrology, we like to take a super honest, direct, and transparent approach. Take the bullshit out of astrology and magic. Leave the fear-mongering aside and open ourselves up to the messages that our celestial guides have for us so that we can really tap into and harness the lessons and the energy that we're all collectively and individually experiencing for our best potential and growth and alignment and authenticity, all the good stuff that I'm sure you are somebody who's working toward if you found yourself on this show. So let's dive right into things, shall we? Just a reminder, I'm moving across the country right now. When you're hearing this, I will be in New Hampshire, which is absolutely insane for me to think about right now, because at the time I'm recording this, I am in Colorado. So what I'm doing for the remainder of May is I'm pre-recording out our forecasts for the rest of May, giving myself just a little bit of time and wiggle room to get myself set up in New Hampshire, aka literally physically set up a little studio recording space, because I'm not sure what that's going to look like until we get to our little temporary living space. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we do a few ahead of time? That way we can check in with everybody every week. We can still keep up that magical connection in the neighborhood with everybody. And I can give myself a little bit of time to figure out anything that I need to figure out. So in June, our second episode, our Tuesday episodes may be coming back, but I am going to I'm going to practice what I preach and what I would preach to all of you. And I am not going to promise myself to that just yet. So it might be just Moonday for a little while, or our regular Tuesday episode could be coming back in a couple of weeks. But no matter what, I'm going to be here with you. I'm so grateful to have you listening. And I just can't wait to dive into this one. So before we dive into the messages for this week, which the channels were coming through pretty strong. It's going to be hard to keep this one short, but I'm very determined. Let's do our self check-in. I can feel the Gemini energy. It is so funny doing Moonday because I really do open up and channel the energy for that week. And it is so funny what comes through ahead of time. And wow. I can feel the Gemini energy already, which means I could definitely use a little bit of breath work. I'm sure you could as well. Before we do that, start, adjusting if you need to. Adjust your position, adjust your posture. If you're sitting or standing, let yourself make any little movements to help release any stagnant energy or stiffness right now. Help yourself feel nice and centered and grounded, and your weight feels nice and evenly distributed. If it feels nice to close your eyes, you can do that. You can let your hands come to heart center. Maybe they're open, palms to the sky. Maybe you've found some prayer hands or some meditation hands. Whatever you feel called to and feels comfortable and right for you. I want you to allow your body to come into a position of stillness that feels good for you. If you want to close your eyes, you can. And let's start taking some nice, deep breaths together. Take a big, deep inhale in. Exhale that out. Another deep breath in. Exhale a little longer. One more. Make it count. Deep breath in. And let it out. Let your intuition kind of swoop and scan over your body, your mind, your spirit, all your energetic fields right now. Anywhere you're sensing kind of overactivity or excess, anything that feels, really, really tense, let's send some nice, smoothing, calming, and peaceful energy to those areas. Again, it might be a physical part of your body. Could be some racing thoughts that you've been dealing with that are popping up. Breathe in smoothness, and when you exhale, send it. Send that peace and that calm to that area of your body or of your life. Likewise, if there's an area that you're feeling calling out to you right now from kind of a different place, a place of neglect or feeling forgotten, needing to be included, a part of you that is really needing some nourishment right now, let's give a little bit to that area of our body or our life right now, if those are the kind of thoughts or feelings or sensations coming up for us. You can really breathe in nurturing, caregiving, comfort, and care. Send that love to that area of your body or your life. And try to just let go and relax, even if it's just temporary, into a space of harmony and balance, even if it's just for a little bit of time here together for the episode today. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they've been closed, really open up your mind, open up your heart to any messages that you may be seeking or needing from the cosmos and your guides at this time, okay? So we're looking at the week of starting today, Monday, May. May 22nd, 5/22, May 22nd through Sunday, May 28th is the week that we are looking at. Moonscope this week. Moon is starting out in Cancer today, then will move into Leo on Wednesday. It'll move through the sign of Leo all the way until Friday when it gets to Virgo. And we are going to round out our week with the moon in Virgo. Okay, so make sure you take a look at your chart. You can pull that up on your phone, your favorite app or website, and take a look at where Cancer, Leo, and Virgo span for you. Make a mental note of where the moon, aka your feelings and your emotional awareness, where that's going to kind of be for you this week. What houses or areas of life will this be activating for you? Do you already have any planets or placements there? Are these empty houses for you? So will the moon be activating an area of life that isn't always having a lot of focus or awareness on it, okay? Or is it an area of your chart that has a lot of energy already going on, okay? Make mental note of these things. And now before we dive all the way into our planetary messages for the week, we of course need to thank our episode sponsor for bringing us our Moonday Musings episode today, which is the beautiful, the magical, the unique, and one-of-a-kind Sister Yarrow. I love Sister Yarrow so much. If you can't tell, week in and week out, absolutely been one of my favorite sponsors to just gush over to all of you all about. Sister Yarrow is formerly Paragon and Bone. And Sister Yarrow is a company right in the heart of the Rocky Mountains that connects you to earth and spirit through handmade, one-of-a-kind pieces and goods inspired by nature and all things magic. I have personally been purchasing from Sister Yarrow, items from owner and creator Madeline Greason for years now. Maddie's one of my favorite people ever. We have a previous episode together. Seriously, if you haven't already checked that out, make sure you do. It was our Yule episode in 2021. And what first attracted me to Maddie were her products. The first thing I did was buy stuff from her. And then we also became such wonderful friends and colleagues, which is just amazing. And I'm so, so grateful for her. But I have purchased a ton of her products, not only for myself, but these are honestly like some of my all-time favorite gifts to give my loved ones, particularly those people in your life that are so hard to buy for, the people that just always have the coolest, most unique stuff. You are going to find something that they are just going to love over at Sister Yarrow. I can personally tell you that Sister Yarrow's intention, everything from materials used, the handmade techniques to actually create and produce every single one of these items, all of the products in the collections across the board are of incredible quality. You are going to be so pleased with what you purchased for years to come. From jewelry to candles, home goods, clothing, accessories, you are not going to have a problem at all finding items that you love and that your loved ones are going to love just as much as well. And right now, head over to sisteryarrow.com. Don't forget to subscribe to their email newsletter, because when it comes to small business and these small handmade makers, it is so valuable to be on their email newsletter so that you get early access to product releases, sales, special discounts, and more. Okay, so sisteryarrow.com. And right now, you can also use code THATWITCH for 10% off purchase at checkout. So make sure you follow Sister Yarrow all across social media. You go to sisteryarrow.com, subscribe to their email newsletter for all the best and early access, and then use code THATWITCH for 10% off of your purchase today. Thank you so, so much. Now, into our forecast we go. Into the woods, but we're going into the cosmos. It's kind of into the cosmic woods. Ooh, how's that? I like that a lot. That's very quintessential That Witch. We're in the cosmic neighborhood, the cosmic woods. Okay. We have this week I could go individually transit for transit, but it would really kind of almost take away from the overarching messages that were just pulsating through. As soon as I opened up channel for this particular week, and keep in mind, I recorded a handful of Moonday Musings all at the same time. So it's really interesting when I kind of cleanse in between each one and I prep for each episode. And it's very, very interesting how different the energy does come through. And what came through was really, really buzzing. It's not even I'm even saying this as an astrologer. It's not even necessarily as worth it to get hung up into any one transit this week. Okay? Ooh, this is coming through really strong. It's Gemini season. It's so easy to get a little too wrapped up in the details and miss the bigger message. This is something you definitely want to keep in mind as we make our way to our Sagittarius full moon, okay? It's really important that, yes, we're being thorough, we're being intentional, we're paying attention to the details, of course. And are you getting lost in the sauce? Are you getting lost in the details so that you're not even getting the big picture, the big message that is really carrying you those long distances? So when we're looking at the general cosmic themes for this week, what just came through so hard was, where are your values yet? Have you checked in with your values in a while? When is the last time you really, really thought to yourself, what are the most undeniably important concepts to me in this life? Not what people are the most important to me, okay? It's really, really easy to do this. It's really easy when we're reflecting on our values to say, oh, well, my kids, they mean the world to me. Being a mom means the world to me. I would broaden that. When we're talking about values, I would broaden that a little bit. So like caregiving, that would be the broader concept of motherhood or fatherhood or parenthood being one of the most important or the most important thing to you in this life. When we are talking about our values, we want to get pretty broad and pretty conceptual. There's lots of people that speak on this. There's lots of places online that will give you great literature, tons and tons of books that will offer you great information about figuring out your values. I would say that for me, the resource that resonates the most with me is Dr. Brene Brown's work. And this is a very, very popular source. So that might be something that you listening, you might already be familiar with. But if you're not already, you can go to Brene Brown's website, which I'm pretty sure is just brenebrown.com. She has actually a ton of free resources in general. She has all these really helpful like hubs on her website based on some of her most famous, most referenced work. She has all these free resources that you can download. And she's got lots and lots of literature on sifting through our most important values. And I think that she gives this information in both a really powerful way, but this also really like simple, I can do this right now, concrete way. And I think that's why it resonates with me and the work that I do so much. So if you're looking to kind of decipher those for yourself, if you're like, wow, Danny, I don't really know. I guess I haven't formally sat down and like reflected on that. I really, really suggest you do. It's something that once I started doing this years ago, I make sure to do this at least once a year. This is, the values exercise that I learned long ago from Brene Brown. It's kind of morphed into my own intuitive practice, but I can tell you that at least once a year, if not more, I get really intentional about sitting down and reflecting on my core values and how I'm living those and how I'm embodying those. And I'm telling you that the cosmos for this week, Venus in Cancer, Pallas Athena in Leo, Mars in Leo, Mercury, the North Node, the North Node, and Jupiter all in Taurus, like it would serve you quite well to check in with your values. And we briefly asked this last week, but it fucking rings strong this week. Are the decisions you're making today actively carrying you toward where you say you want to be? And that was exactly how the message came through, by the way. It was that Mercury, that like how you say, like the water, like the talk that you're talking kind of thing. You say where you want to be. You talk all day long about it. It's Gemini season. It's easy. It's easy to talk all day long about where we want to be, who we want to be, what we want to do. Are you doing those things? Or are you at least making decisions that support those things? If that's hard to see and hard to uncover, you need to look at your values, my friend. Your values and being rooted in them and embodying them, that's the glue, my friend. That's the glue. That's how we take our intentions of today and connect ourselves to where we're trying to get to be, to that beautiful vision, all that growth we're manifesting for ourselves. You want the secret, the magic, right? The secret to manifestation and what brings us to those things and our goals. It's living your values. This is why we talk about intentional living so much. And the truth is this is an important reminder this week. A lot of people need this reminder this week. And I think that's why what came through so strongly when I was preparing for this episode was not individual transits. I mean, again, I could point them out to you. Trust me, it's how I came up with them. But I know we would get bogged down in the details. I know that it's important that we focus on and anchor into the big picture. God, when we talk about not getting lost in the details, but also wanting to still pay attention to the details, again, another great medicine for that problem, that difficulty, is embodying your values, living your non-negotiables. And my friend, can I ask you something? How the fuck are you going to do that if you haven't even sat down for a second and thought about what the hell those are? It's one of those exercises that, we hear about on podcasts or we read about in books. And we're like, oh, it's a great idea. Maybe we think about it a little bit, like while we're driving the car one day or, right after we listen to that episode or read that chapter or whatever. But very rarely do we put it to practice. And so if that's something that you've done, if you've put that practice off, this is your formal reminder. This is a great time for it. It's not just a great time for it. It's an important time for it. It's clearly an important time for it. We're at the beginning of this solar season. We are on our way to a beautiful Sagittarius full moon. I know if you're listening to this, you are a person that practices energy work and manifestation and spell work, and you are, casting those intentions and that vision. And so it's so important to do that sacred reality check for yourself and say, how am I embodying my values? Because that truly, I promise you, that's what carries you. Oh my God. Cool reading today. So I pulled our cards for this week. If you don't have it pulled up already, make sure you pull up your email, our cosmic quickie for the week, so you can see the imagery for the cards that we pulled. And if you're not already on my email list, why? Go to thatwitchnextdoor.com, scroll down a little bit, plug in your email so that you get pictures of our card pull every single moon day. Okay. Just makes such a difference when you can anchor into the imagery. Super fascinating. This is really a cool reading. First of all, I find Three of Swords reversed a very, very fascinating card. And here's a message that's coming through just instantly. I can feel it right in between my eyebrows, right? My third eye. This is definitely a sign of healing, okay? This is definitely a sign of healing. And I want you to hear that first. And I hope you receive that first. This is a sign of healing. It's time. Storm's going away. Swords are falling out. We can tend to the wounds. Healing can take place. What came through simultaneously just as strong, and this doesn't always come through when I pull Three of Wands reversed, depends on the context of the reading. And today, this is absolutely what also came through with it. Are you blocking any of that for yourself? Are you blocking any of that for yourself? I think it's really interesting. We talked so strongly about sifting through what exactly our values are. There is a very strong possibility that you might be avoiding a practice like that, a deep dive, like really sifting through what are my top non-negotiable values in this life. You could be avoiding a practice like that because it could be keeping you from parts of yourself that you don't want to see and you don't want to look at and you don't want to examine or you don't want to let out. It's very common when we do work like that that those little shadows and things pop up and pop out. And I want you to know that your guides are letting you know that it is time. It is time. You experienced some serious heartbreak. You experienced some serious grief and loss. And very likely, not just recently, but in your life. I can feel that. That really strong validation is coming through for you. And I want you to feel that spiritual hug from your team right now, from your ancestors, your guides, your angels, okay? I want you to feel that big hug from your inner child, from your higher self, thanking you for the work that you do. And they want you to know that it's okay. It's time to heal. I want you to let out a big sigh like that if you need it, because I could feel that. Okay? Sometimes our pain gets so comfy that it genuinely feels fucking terrifying to live without it and to step away from it. And so if that's how you're feeling, I want you to listen to this supportive message we're getting from our spirit ally. An ally from the plant family came through. Iboga. I see the medicine in the difficult experiences. With branches spread across the sky, the Iboga plant sits in the heat of the African sun. From small white flowers come orange fruits that sit amongst the plant's narrow, dark green leaves. The spirit of the Iboga is letting you know that your guides want to connect with you. It's time to become fully aware of any destructive patterns that have been holding you back. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. We all develop coping mechanisms in an attempt to avoid repeating or experiencing past traumas. It's time to break the cycles and heal any past wounds that are subtly or not so subtly guiding your behaviors in the present. Spend a little time each day focusing on connecting with your higher self and guides about your dreams and aspirations, especially those related to releasing self-limiting patterns. Call in and then look for support in this healing process. Keep your eye on the end goal. Envision yourself choosing to do things in new ways that support your highest desires arriving in your life. The journal prompt is, what destructive patterns are you aware of within yourself? I think that was pretty clear. I think this was an incredibly just nail on the head forecast card reading. 100%. The healing is here. It's time. And it's okay. Even though that can feel a little scary and unfamiliar. It's time. And you have much, much more support than you think or you realize. My neighbor, I'm sending you all my love. I'm sending you all the nourishment and the nurturing that you need as you embark on healing journeys for yourself. Breaking cycles for yourself, breaking generational patterns. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud to have you here in my neighborhood. Thank you for all of your time today and every day. It's just such a pleasure and a privilege to have you here on my side. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. Make sure you stay safe. I hope that you let yourself have a little bit of fun and stay magical out there. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed That Witch podcast today, I would be super, super grateful if you would take a moment to head over to Apple or Spotify and leave a rating and review. It really helps to support the show. Or if you just have a friend that you think would enjoy what we're doing, what we're talking about here, you can just share the show with them as well. Now, if you yourself like what you're doing here and you want to get more into the magic of the neighborhood, I highly recommend checking out my monthly membership, That Witch School. It's kind of like a witchier, more interactive style of Patreon subscription where you can enroll at a tier level that fits your lifestyle and budget. You can get instant access to all of the bonus content that we've already done, as well as all of the future amazing to come bonus content that we'll be doing in the future together. There's exercises for strengthening your intuition. There are loads of resources for studying astrology and learning your birth chart. We've got guest workshops, bonus episodes, exclusive discounts, and so much more. My full-time students also get exclusive access to Mighty Networks, our private online community platform, which is basically like a way better and way more magical social media platform with a bunch of really cool people like you that just want to learn from and support one another on this witchy spiritual journey. If this sounds like something that you would really enjoy, head over to thatwitchnextdoor.com/enroll and explore the tier level of that witch school that would fit you today. Now, if you have any questions after the episode today, any inquiries, show suggestions, anything you'd like to share with me, you can head over to thatwitchnextdoor.com/conjurethatwitch. Remember, I'm just always right next door. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next episode.